Claudia Cardinale always carried the air of someone who knew the punchline to a joke no one else had heard. Her beauty was obvious, but her allure was something deeper, a mixture of humor, defiance, and that husky voice that sounded like it had secrets folded into every syllable. Her life story begins, oddly enough, not in Rome or Paris, but in Tunis. The girl who would one day dance with Alain Delon and outshine Henry Fonda was once just Claudia, the daughter of Sicilian immigrants growing up under the African sun. She spoke French, Tunisian Arabic, Sicilian dialect, everything except Italian. When she finally set foot in Cinecittà, she barely understood the language. A producer once handed her a script, and she reportedly replied, "That's nice, but what exactly am I supposed to do with it?" That was Claudia in a nutshell: disarming, unpolished, and absolutely unforgettable. The accident that made her a star was, in fact, a beauty contest. She didn't even want to enter. Her friends pushed her. She won, of course, and the prize was a trip to the Venice Film Festival. It sounds like a fairy tale, but Claudia later joked that she was trapped by cinema. Her dream had been to teach, to live quietly. Instead, destiny kidnapped her and handed her to Visconti, Fellini, and Leone. Her voice became an epic battle in itself. Studio executives begged her to let someone dub her, to make her sound lighter, more girlish. Claudia said no. "My voice is myself." That low, sensual, smoky timbre was unlike anything Italian cinema had heard. Later, when a journalist asked if she regretted not sounding prettier, she shot back, "Do you think women exist only to sound pretty?" That was Claudia, turning an insult into a manifesto. But behind the glamour, her personal life carried shadows. At 17, she became pregnant after what she described years later as a traumatic, forced relationship. The scandal could have ruined her career before it began. To protect her future, the industry, and her own family insisted her son Patrick be presented to the world as her younger brother. For years, she played along, keeping silent. And yet, unlike so many starlets crushed by the hypocrisy of the time, Claudia endured. She later reclaimed her son publicly, saying, "To lie was the price of survival. To tell the truth was my victory." That honesty only deepened the gravity of her screen presence. Every role shimmered with an unspoken truth. And there are lighter stories, too. Claudia was famously indifferent to Hollywood's obsession with appearances. Once, when offered a nose job early in her career, she laughed and said, "If you change my nose, I won't be myself anymore. I'll just be another copy." She kept the nose. She kept everything real. Even Alain Delon, one of her most dazzling co-stars, once admitted he was terrified of her. Claudia never played the kitten. She was always the lion. Her love life was equally unconventional. She never married in her youth, preferring independence in an era that demanded actresses be kept by powerful men. She had a long partnership with Italian director Pasquale Squitieri, a man 15 years her junior, and when asked about the age difference, Claudia simply smiled. Why should men have all the fun? It was a line delivered with perfect Cardinale irony. And then there's her activism. By the 1970s, when many of her contemporaries clung to their bombshell image, Claudia pivoted. She threw herself into causes: women's rights, environmental issues, the fight against domestic violence. In interviews, she spoke with the same candor that once frightened studio bosses. "Cinema made me a woman that men could look at. Activism made me a woman that women could trust." Even today, she resists nostalgia. She once quipped, People ask if I miss the old days. I don't. I miss nothing. Life is always happening now. It's this refusal to look back, this eternal forward motion, that makes her story feel not frozen in the past, but alive. So what remains when we look at Claudia Cardinale? A woman who was never discovered, but instead took control of her discovery. A muse who inspired great directors but never let them own her image. A beauty who carried scars and turned them into strength. Watching her is like being let in on a secret and realizing, with a little shock, that she'll never tell you the whole of it. Because Claudia Cardinale isn't just remembered. She's still here, still radiant, still untamed, and still laughing at a punchline the rest of us are trying to catch up to.